Okay, so let's look at how to be able to create some functions in Excel. So we're going to look at how to create our own functions. If like Excel has a whole lot of functions that I stated. Also let go. For instance, so sum is a function. And with two numbers, it's asking for number one. I say one, or let's say, and then eight. So it's going to sum them, close it, and tap enter to give me 10. That's a function. I can also say maybe average equal to. So you see the average comes there. It's asked me for some numbers. I can just put 3, 6, and then in that order. And when it will give me the average, which is 6. Then I can try another function and say equal to maybe mode. This is modulus. So I can just give it a number like, and then put it 5. It's going to give me the remainder. So that's 2. So all these are functions that are seated in Excel. But do you know that we can also build our own functions? Yeah. And allow our own functions to do whatever. I don't know whether on this particular, if I click on name manager, you may see these are all functions I have created, which are seated over there. You can see there's a function called add two numbers, add two numbers, BMI calculation, and all of that. Then Fahrenheit to, if you want to convert from Fahrenheit to Celsius, and then in that order. These are all functions that I've created, right? So, for instance, if I want to add two numbers, I can simply come here and call one of my functions. Add two numbers. You can see the function is here. I'll use tab. It will ask me of the two numbers. The first number, let's say it is 20. Of the second number, let's say it's 12. I'll place it up and then it will work. So I'm going to show you how these functions are created. I'll just give you some few examples and then that is it. So first of all, we use lambda to be able to create functions in Excel. Okay, we use lambda. So for instance, if I have, let's say lambda, see the lambda over there, it takes two things. It takes parameters for calculations and then in that order. So if I have, let's say y or x here, y over there, then those are my parameters. Maybe that's the two parameters I want. Then the next thing is, after that, how do I want these parameters to interact? Maybe I want to multiply them. So I can go ahead and then say the x that I have indicated, bring your asterisk sign, and then say the y. And then I am done. I'll just close it up and then I'll tap enter. It's going to give me this. Tell you that car, but that's a good function. Now, if I want to give it a try to see how the function is working, I can come and put some command over here and now give the actual value of x. So let's say the actual value of x is this. The actual value of y is 7. So it will multiply 3 by 7 and then tap enter. So 3 by 7 will give you 21. So it means the function is working. In case at this one, I just put the last part to only explain. So the function is working. I can now copy this particular function that you see it over here. So let me try and copy. And then the next thing to do is to go to the formulas, and then you can see name manager over here. Then click on that, and then you can come and click on new. I'm going to click on new, and then what is the name of the function? So I will say multiplication or multi of two numbers or multi-2. Let me just put it that way, underscore 2. The name, there must not be any space between them. You can use underscore or you can use kernel case, but you cannot. So now you come down here to the reference, and then the formula that you've already copied, you paste it now there. That's the x and y, and x times y, and click OK. So we're multiplying two numbers. That's the name of the function, and then we're good to go. We close. So now, the next time I come and I want to multiply two numbers, I will just say multi. So you can see the multi2 come, the function name comes, and I'll give the y value. The y value will now become 4. I can give any, and then, sorry, the x value is 4, the y value is 8. Close it up, and then to multiply it straight away. This is how we create functions in Excel. Now, the one that you saw earlier about the addition. So I'm going to come to the name managers and then delete our two numbers. So I'm going to delete that, the function. Another one is here. I'm going to delete it. You can always edit any of the BMI here. I will also delete it. And then another BMI to also show here. I'm just going to, when I'm going to show you how to be able to do them one after the other. I'll close it. So we're going to learn how to be able to add two numbers. So I will just simply use lambda equal to the lambda comes. Then you give the parameters. We're adding two numbers. So the first parameter will be, let's say, a, and the next parameter will be, let's say, k. And then that's it. Then you bring your comma. How do you want these parameters to interact? So I can simply say a plus k, like this, and then I am done. I'll close it up, tap enter. So it's going to say car, but it means the function is working. So if you want to try it, then a bracket at the end of it, and then what is the a value? Let's say the a value is 7, and then you bring your comma. What is the k value? The k value, let's say, is 9. Close it up, and then see, it will add 7 and 9 and give you 16. So the function is working. So we don't need this last part for now. We just used to try it. And so I can now copy this part. All right. I can copy this part, and now go to Excel, go to Names Manager under the Formulas tab, and come and say New. Come down here, and then give it a name. So we are going to add underscore two numbers. We are adding two numbers. And so we come to this part, delete it, and then paste this over there. If you want to describe your function, you can just pass a comment here. It will do. So I can just say this function add two numbers, and that's all. Come and click OK, and then we're good to go. So the next time, I can just say equal sign and say add 2. You just tap 2. Then it will require for two arguments. One is for a, and the a, I can put it, let's say 89, and then the next one will be 50. And then that's it. So it will simply come. Now, so here we are looking at multiple. Here we are looking at add. And here, let's look at BMI. So BMI, let's say, is equal to, let's use lambda, is weight over height square. So let's say this is our weight, and then I want them to interact. I just said the formula is weight divided by height square. So I'll say make sure the pattern is out over height square. So I will say height, shift key down 6, and then you see 2 up there. Then you close it up and tap enter. Then you will see this car over there. We can now try it. So what is the weight of the person? Let's say the person is weighing, if it's a child, the person is weighing a kilogram. Height, the height is about also 30 centimeters. So I'll put 31 centimeters, and we close it up and tap enter. So the BMI will be 0.03. And so now that we know that the function is working, we can simply take this out, and then whatever that is left, we copy it, and now go and create, go to the names manager. So I'm copying this, and then go to names manager here, and come and click new, and then we give it BMI, the BMI uppercase, and then we come down here, delete whatever that is there, and paste whatever that we copied, and that's the click OK, and click OK. So the BMI is now there. So I'll delete this one, and then next time I can now BMI will ask me of the weight of the person, and let's say the person is weighing 60 kilograms, and then the height of the person is, let's say, 45 centimeters. So we just close that up. The person's BMI 0.029 or 0.03. So that's the BMI of the person now. So this is how we can also actually calculate discount. A little bit. We can use if statement and then say that okay, and then it didn't set well. So let's come here and use lambda. Then I can use different parameters. Discount. Then we have, let's say, sales. And so I'm going to put here that sales. And then it's going to be the percentage multiplied by the sales. So it's going to be the same sales, right, multiplied by the percentage. And let's say the discount is, if it is 10%, that's 0.1, if I'm not mistaken. So so it will be multiplied by sales, and then we still add that to sales. So, and then I think that's about all. We close it up and tap enter. So you see, but in this case, the only variable there, the only argument that we need to give is sales. So if at the end of the day, the person comes and says, I've made, let's say, 1,000 Ghana cedi sales, what will be the person's discount? So I'll come here, I'll just put, let me try 100 cedis and say what will be the person's discount. The discount will be 110, so the person will take 10 cedis away. Okay, so the discount, I said 100 cedis, so it will be, so I think that maybe I should have said the sales times discount, or it should have been sales minus sales times discount. Maybe that way is better, so that we subtract the discount away from the sales. And that way, whatever that remains, okay, so let me put there minus 90. So what I would rather do is I will invert this one and say this is rather subtracted. Okay, so here it will be minus. So let's put it this way: sales minus sales times discount. And now come and remove this one around here. Yeah, and tap enter. So that will be 90. So if somebody has made what is it, sales of 100 Ghana cedis, then 10 cedis goes to that particular person, because that's the sales, 100 cedis minus whatever that is here. So it's another way of calculating discount. And then 0.1 Yeah, minus this. Yeah, it should give me, then I am good to go. So once the function is working, try and what is it here? Create a lambda or create a function for it. So I'll just copy the whole of that, leaving the bracket out, the last part out, then come here. Then go to that, and then we simply go to the names manager and then say new, and then I will call that function discount. And then I will simply come remove whatever that is here and paste the discount over there, click OK, and then that's it. So the next time I come here, if I want to calculate discount, I'll just come here and say discount. You see the discount function will be here. And it's going to ask me of the person's sales. How much sales does he make? 100 cedis. And then we tap enter. So 90. If you make 100 cedis, then you are giving 90 to the owner and you return 10 cedis. So that is basically how we can calculate or how we can actually make some discount work. The other thing is that, well, what about if the you are looking at people who perform above certain average? You can create a function and say that if your performance is between this and this, we give you this. So we use if statement to be able to do that. For instance, I can say I can just have this particular value here. Let's say 200 cedis. And then I come to this place and say anybody who perform or who is able to make 100 cedis, that person should be given an award. I don't given anything. So in that case, I'll use the if statement and say if this particular whatever is contained in that cell is greater than 200. So what should happen? The person gets a commission of 10% of that value. So there's going to be a commission, which is actually 0.1 times multiplied by the same cell that is found in that cell. And so if the condition is met, that's what the person is going to get. What about if the condition is not met? We can underperformed. Or we just say low. And close it up, tap enter. So this is low. This value here to 3. So we see the person is making 30 Ghana cedis. And then in that order. So once this is working, we actually pick the whole of as a function, right? So I can now come to this point and just highlight the whole thing and then make it a function. And then, but if we're making it a function, okay. So if we're making it a function, I've already copied it. You have to start with lambda here, and then just paste it. Remove the if here, the equal sign there, we don't need that any longer. And then if you check, we have E7 and E7, the same thing. But that E7, I mean, what does it mean? Is it sales or profit? Okay, let's say it's profit. So I'm just going to say the profit. That's the value. That's the parameter. But if it's parameter, it means we're changing the E7 to profit. So I'm going to say profit over there, the same profits. And then we can come to E72 here and say the same profits. And then the same profits. This time around, we tap. So yeah, I needed to close it again. And so we'll see this. So the next time, if we want to try to see whether the function is working, we can give it some profit and see. So the person made a profit of 300 Ghana cedis. So what will be his share? Check, it will give us 30 cedis. So which means our function is working properly. Now we can remove the 300 here. We just wanted to try to see why the function will work. And once it is working, you can now come here and highlight the whole. Oh, my. So we copy the function and then come to names manager and then say, and then we give it the name profit commission, profit underscore, and then come to this point, delete everything there and paste the function we just created, which is working properly, and click OK. So the profit commission is here, and you can see the full function, which is also here. So close that. So if I come here, then the next thing is I now want to calculate. I can simply just call and say profit commission, which will appear, and it's going to ask me of the profit. So put value over there, or just tap, and then that's it. So it's going to give me the same 30. So let's assume that I was having here, let's also say another profit of 400 Ghana cedis, then 500 Ghana cedis, then 540 cedis. Okay, 54, no problem. 567, and then 45 this. So now, instead of me, I can simply now come here and just drag this down. I've already calculated it to tell me. But you see that this particular place, the profit is less than 200 cedis. So because of that, it's low. So the person gets nothing. It's going to be low. But anywhere the performance is above 200 Ghana cedis, the person gets a commission of 30, 40, 50, yeah, 56.7 pesos, and then in that order. This is how we create functions in Excel. It's really that simple. But you need to know how to use if statement, multiple if statement, and then all of that. And you combine all the mathematical operations, just give your parameters, tell Excel to interact. Then you try it, and if it works, copy that, go and use formulas, name manager, create your own function. And then boom, it will work for you. Thank you. I'll see you in another video. Bye bye.